All right, so I'm going to start off with anatomical positions of the body. Okay, I'm going to start with the upper body first. Okay, just know that whenever the pretty much the norm of it is you're going to start in an anatomical position, which is going to be usually laying supine on your back or standing up. Okay, arms at your side. Okay, my palms are going to be forward. Okay, about like this. Legs would be straight. I know you can't see that in this picture right now. Okay, head forward. Okay, and this is anatomical position. Okay, fundamental position is the same thing, except for your palms are going to face the side. Okay, so you can see that palms are here. So fundamental, anatomical. Okay. All right. So the first one we're going to start off is flexion. Okay, so flexion, when you mention it, you need to mention for one flexion and two the joint that's happening at. Okay, otherwise we don't know where it's happening. Okay, for example, okay, on the side. Okay, this is elbow flexion. Okay, this is elbow extension. Okay, this is shoulder flexion. Okay, and this is shoulder extension. Okay, there's a few different trains of thought in terms of flexion, extension, then when you get to the hyperflexion and then hyperextension. The train of thought that I'm going to go off of, I'm not going to tell you the other one, is once that body part goes past its normal range of motion, usually resulting in injury, that is hyper blah blah blah. Okay, hyperflexion, hyperextension. Okay, for example, this is the total amount of shoulder extension that I can do. Okay, so anything beyond that results in injury is going to be hyperextension. Okay. Okay, so again, elbow flexion. Okay, shoulder flexion. Okay, shoulder and elbow extension. Okay. Okay, and that is unilateral, okay, which is meaning only to one side. If I was to do both, okay, so this is bilateral elbow flexion, okay. Okay, so bilateral, unilateral, okay. Next one's going to be abduction, okay, that's lifting, if it's shoulder abduction, okay, arms are going to the side, okay, and then going back down is going to be shoulder adduction, okay. Okay, so this is bilateral shoulder abduction, bilateral shoulder adduction, okay? ABD or ADD, okay? One way to remember this pretty good is your aliens abduct you, okay? And then you add together, okay? So that's abduction, adduction. Next one is going to be horizontal abduction and adduction, okay? So if you think about the horizon, okay, usually flat, okay, horizontal. That is kind of like the plane where this is going to happen. Okay, that is the transverse plane. Okay, so it'd be, so your positioning would be here. So this is horizontal shoulder adduction. Okay, you're adding together. Okay, horizontal shoulder abduction is we're going apart. Okay. Other one's going to be, we'll do shoulder internal external rotation. Okay. So I'm going to put my elbow into flexion just to give you a better viewpoint, okay? But the motion is actually happening here, okay? If I were to keep my elbow straight, it's hard to kind of see the internal external rotation that's happening, okay? So just know that even though my elbow's flexed, the motion is happening here at my glenohumeral joint, okay? So I'll just turn slightly to the side, okay? So from here, this is shoulder external rotation, and then this is shoulder internal rotation. Okay, external, internal. A few places you might see it put as lateral rotation, okay, and then medial rotation, okay. If you haven't seen one of the other PowerPoints or slides for me, lateral is towards the outside, okay, and medial is towards the inside, okay. Usually as it relates to something, okay. For example, my shoulder is lateral to my sternum. And vice versa, my sternum is medial to my shoulder. Okay. I think about all of those. A few things with the scapula. Okay. So the scapula does do some movements of itself. Okay. So this is scapular elevation. Okay. To where my shoulder blades, my scapula is kind of elevating. Okay. And then bringing back down is depression. Okay. Shoulder elevation, shoulder depression. Okay. And then there's shoulder or scapular protraction, okay, and then retraction, okay. So protraction, okay, my scapulas are going to come out, okay, get that little rounding. And then retraction is I'm going to pinch together, okay, and they're going in, okay. So protraction, retraction, okay. A little bit with the neck, okay, this is cervical flexion and the cervical extension, okay, cervical flexion, extension, okay. You can do lateral cervical flexion, okay. This is left lateral, okay, right lateral, okay. Cervical rotation, okay. Left cervical rotation, right cervical rotation, okay. Trying to think what I'm missing. On the wrist, okay, this is wrist flexion, wrist extension. Finger flexion, finger extension, okay. Finger opposition, okay, you're posing. Another one you're going to see, okay, I'll start from this position, okay. So this is pronation and supination, okay. Another viewpoint of that, okay, from here, okay, I'm going to hold my upper body here, upper arm here, that way you can't, I'm not internally externally rotating, okay. That is pronation, okay. So the motion's happening below my elbow, okay, and then supination. So that's like holding a bowl of soup, okay, and then pronation is you're just dumping it out, okay. Supination, pronation, okay. Not to get confused with shoulder internal rotation and external rotation, okay. Some more with the wrist, okay, is there's radial deviation and ulnar deviation, okay. So it's just happening here, okay. So the radius that goes over the side of my thumb, okay, radial deviation, ulnar deviation, okay. Trying to think anything else with the upper body. I think that's it. We'll stop there.